All right, we are live. It is Tuesday. It is needle felting day, and we are back working on our sunrise guy here. And this is where we're currently at. Oh, right, I grabbed that color, and that wasn't the right color I needed yet. So we finished with this color for now. I don't know that I'm gonna add more of it on there. I might kind of leave it with a little bit of the slight grayness kind of poking through in spots. I need like an orange, but not like a super orange. It's honestly like more of like a golden orange yellow, but I don't really have a color like that. I have like very yellow or more like yellow gold, but none of them really have like a tint of orange to them. So I think we're gonna have to just kind of go with something here. This might be what we're gonna have to go with. This might be my best option. So this is Orange Bright from Big Twist. So, traditionally for needle felting, people will generally use, did you say something? Husband? Did you just say something?
Nope.
It sounded like somebody whispered something. That was weird. Okay. Traditionally, people will use roving, wool roving for this. I use acrylic yarn, and it's a little bit better for my budget. I have a short video on how I prep my yarn over on my YouTube channel. Should be a link in the about section down here. But basically cut some lengths of yarn, then, you know, have a piece of cardboard or a self-healing cutting mat, or just hold it, whatever you're more comfortable with. And then you get one of these sticker brushes, and then brush it out starting at the bottom ends, and then work your way up. If you start at the top and go down, you're going to end up with a mess. But if you do it from bottom up to where your hand is holding, it'll work out a bit better. And then, you know, pull the fuzz out of the brush as it fills up. And then as you get closer to where you're holding it, then flip it around and hold the fuzzy bit that you just brushed out, and then brush the opposite end that still needs attention, essentially. The acrylic yarn is easier for me to get, and I can usually find a decent sale. And it's also an option for people that might be allergic to wool. So I am going to flip this guy sideways. And I am going to start to lay this around the edge here. These are finger protectors. I highly recommend them, especially if you have really bad aim like me. It will lessen any potential injury if you accidentally stab yourself. It might end up being just like a poke with a sewing needle instead of a barbed needle completely inside your finger. So I do highly recommend them. Just trying to make sure I don't cover up my hemline too much there. I am using a small size needle. I could probably use something a little bit bigger, but this is the one that I prefer and feels good in my hand and doesn't make my arm super tired. It's a good weight for me to hold and work with. I had the wrong screen up there. Hopefully OBS will behave itself today. Yeah, like I kind of wish this was a little more yellow. It is very orange, but it'll probably be okay. I think the other yellow would have been much too yellow, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but well, that is what it is. I haven't started working on my other embroidery yet. I am trying to get all of my embroidery thread recarded because these cardboard cards that they came on are a nightmare to get the thread off without destroying the card, like the little notch that you hook the tail in to keep it from unraveling. Or maybe my hands just don't have the delicate touch, but the plastic ones are a lot more durable. And they handle my rough and tumbleness quite a bit better. Kind of working from bottom up instead of from top down like I usually do, so that might be a little strange for some people here. Just a dab of water off the tip of my finger just to help kind of shape this guy a little bit. Now it does kind of halo out a little bit, so I'm not sure how far I might take that. I got a drop of water on there, but that's fine. It'll be okay. Not like a huge problem, it's just some water. And it will dry. There. I can't see it, so I'm gonna flip this guy around. I'm trying to keep the inside of that circle as clear as I can, so I don't want to lose the shape of it too much here. I'm trying to keep it somewhat circular shape going here. And then we will fill the center in here shortly. And then when we get done with the needle felted version of this, I want to do a tissue paper version. Just feel very, very bright. Kind of wish I had gone a little bit lighter, but I didn't really have a whole lot. I had like a varsity yellow. Like I said, that felt a little too yellow. But it is ours. It doesn't have to match the reference photo quite so strictly. Okay, I'm gonna pop up off the mats. Alright, so we've got just a little bit more in there. So yeah, it didn't come like this. This is all acrylic yarn that was plied. And I had to work some behind the scenes prep work magic on it to get it to that state of usability for what I wanted to do with it. I haven't been super fussy about how far out it's been extending from the circle. I have a habit of getting the non-protected finger in the way. Like these are a little stiff, so it's like my finger has a band-aid on it, and I'm like, oh no, it's injured, it needs to be kept out of the way. And I'm like, no, if you're gonna put one in the way, put that one in the way. That one's protected. These do make my fingers a little bit sweaty, especially on a hot day. They might be a little wrinkly or pruny when you pull them off. So it ended up splitting yesterday's stream into 3 different streams. In the end, there was one that was 6 minutes long, which I think was mostly me trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So I did not send that one over because I didn't see much point. It was 6 minutes. We weren't going to have accomplished much. So I sent over the other 2 to the YouTube channel. Those will go up in a day or 2. Alrighty, so I did lose a little bit of my headline there. Let's see if I can find it if I come back in at a bit of an angle. It is very, very bright orange coming off of that. Alright, I'm going to add some of my own little touches here. Just to kind of add a little bit more orange so it's not quite so there and only there. So every time I look at this photo, it looks a little different. Now the one side looks like there's more pink than this color. So I'm a little bit about that. But that's okay. Right, again, doesn't have to match the reference photo. We want to try to make it ours a little bit where we can. And I think I'm gonna leave like the blurry, smudgy, like dark gray bits out when we get to the planty bits, because they're gonna be kind of hard to work in there, for me at least, and have them look right. Suzu, she's outside, buddy. I can't make her come in any faster. You're gonna have to cope, my guy. We're not going anywhere. We just got started. And you didn't want to eat your breakfast, so somebody else ate it. Snuffles probably did, or one of the kiddos. This is not my fault. Daddy already took you outside to potty, so I know that's not what the problem is. He did potty when he went out, right?
No, he just ate breakfast.
Oh, we didn't.
He has pottied inside since.
Oh, on the pad. Yeah. Okay. Buddy, you're not going out to be nosy. The big dog is outside. I heard them bark. And you don't like the big dog, remember? You're not a fan of big dog. And big dog will eat you. I'm sorry. No, you're not going outside right now to cause trouble. She will be in a few minutes. I'm sure of it. Alright, just you gotta relax. Okay. Go have a seat. Maybe when Daddy gets up next, he can get you a chimkin treat. Okay. No. Whining at me is not going to fix it. I can't make her come in any faster. She's doing something. As hard as it is for you to believe, she is not your human. And she has other things she has to deal with. Apparently. That don't involve you. I'm sorry. And going to Daddy's not going to change it either. Next, he'll be thumping his ass down next to me. To signal his displeasure at me not fixing it. Because that's how this boy rolls. He is very much lady fix it and fix it now. And I mean, this brat was cuddling with me under the blankets earlier. Being all snuggly. But at the first hint of other Grammy being awake, he wanted to be glued to her. She visited him with all of maybe 10 minutes this morning. And then dipped outside. Alright, so we are just kind of working this into here. I don't want to go too crazy with that. I don't know. Should I add some yellow? Not sure if adding yellow is gonna do me much here. But I almost want to add a little hint of it. Just like the tiniest bit. Here and there. Maybe add a little bit of yellow to the ring. I mean, if we're gonna add some more to it to really make it ours. This might be the first time I've used this color. Potentially. Alright. That. Worked into there. Okay. I don't want to go like too crazy overboard with the orange here, but that vehicle sounds worse every time it goes by. Almost sounded like it was like lurching forward. Okay. This one popped into here. And then we'll add a little bit more on the top, and then I might take it out a little bit more this way. Alright, let's see. Put some of that off there. Okay. I'm going to tack some of that down to the outer ring there. And then we'll start getting this guy. Might do a little piece right here, maybe. Kind of hanging out that way. Meow. Meow. Hi, Littles. The elusive Littles. Hi, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning, miss. She doesn't really meow, she just kind of makes noises. I don't know what I would call it. So now maybe this guy, hanging out in here. Just making sure that one's attached. Same there. And then we've got this in here. Yeah, I might add a little bit of yellow. Still kind of going back and forth in my brain. Hello again, Zuzu. What is the matter? She's still outside, guy. I don't know if she went somewhere, or if she's just outside messing around with her sister. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, bud. I was not privy to that information. You're just gonna have to wait, guy. I think she had to let the other doggy out to go potty, and you are not going out there to cause problems. You're just not. Look out, I have to get up. Beep beep. You get upset when I go to move my chair and I don't want to get your feet. Like, he'll panic if I go to move my chair back, so it's just easier to make sure he's out of the way. Well, I have like this color, but this didn't really feel like the right color. It felt like it needed to be a little bit more orange to me, but there's a drop of water. And just gonna make a little fluffy snake here as best as I can. Oh, it's officially a stream. It's time to report somebody. Alrighty, report and blog, and welcome to my ban list. When was this account created? 3 days ago. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to add a little bit of this. Kind of along the edge here. When I realized why everything looked a little extra shiny in yesterday's stream, only after the stream, my one light was on the wrong light setting. It's got like warm LED that's almost like an apricot kind of tone almost, and then I've got another one where it's like the cool, bright white LED, and then I've got a setting where it's a mixture of the two, and I'm usually on the mixture of the two, but somehow yesterday I forgot to adjust it to the mixture. Just a minute. Soon we'll be going to the new stream schedule. Mother-in-law needed something. I guess she needed the husband because he got up and they walked away. Okay. I don't want too much yellow in there. Just like a little tiny hint of it. And we'll kind of work this in around. Turn this so I can see what we're dealing with here. Okay. Like, it doesn't have to be perfectly in there, but I am trying to come in at an angle so it doesn't eat up too much of my inner circle here. Like, I want to get the outer edge, but so I don't want to lose too much of the inside circularness. So I don't want there to be like a funky gap in between those two. That might be slightly problematic. Okay, it's not bad. I'm not even sure if it's really all that visible there. It's a little visible. Not hugely. Husband still hasn't come back from whatever his mom needed him for. Okay, we don't need all of this here. This is a little much, but maybe I can overlap it here a little bit. Although, you know, fiber has a way of doing fibery things where you end up using way more than you thought you were going to need. Like, I need it to overlap ever so slightly, just so I don't end up with like, oh no, that worked out. Okay, I did end up using all of it. I kind of figured I was gonna have to trim a little bit, but I mean, it did overlap itself a little bit there, but nothing too drastic. So that should be just fine. Okay, so there's that. Oh wait, I wanted to do a little bit there. Alright. Sorry about that. Turns out she didn't really want anything. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. Not a whole lot. But I do want to add a little bit more. Like just a little bit. Just add a little bit more of a pop of color into the background here. It might be a little overkill, but a little bit more of that in there. Alright, so I don't want to go too crazy. Hey, what are you doing? Meow. Meow. What? What's up? What's up, little battle cries? What's happening? Is you getting in trouble already? My chaos goblin? No, don't claw me. Don't claw my chair either. Oh my god, what are you doing? Unpaw my chair. Are you stuck in? I need to turn my chair, Bean. Oh, hey! You're doing that on purpose now. Brat? Brat? Clawed my chair and then stuck his arm through one of the holes in the back of it that's like built into the chair. Not like a broken hole, it's a cutout, I guess. And swung at me just for talking to him. Oh, he is nothing but chaos and trouble. He is so bad. Mr. Bean. I don't know what he was getting into trouble with out in the kitchen, but I heard the husband reprimanding him, so then he came in here to take out his frustration on the husband's computer chair, and then I tried to get him to stop, and then he comes and takes it out on my chair, and then swings at me. Good, good. So I think I underestimated how many thread cards I needed. And I think I need way more. than what I grabbed, but we grabbed all that they had on the shelf. So I'm like, dang, I think I still need more. Like, that's not good. Alright, so yeah, like I didn't want too much of that. Wanted just a little bit. Alright, so now we need to do our inner sun color there. So, I mean, it looks bright white. What the heck? Embroidery backpack. Just decided to fall. Okay. Now, it looks to be like bright white. I was originally going to do this. But maybe it needs to be bright white. Because this feels very... not it. Right? That feels rather subdued. Sorry, I was going back to the fluff wall to get the white. Part of me that worried that the white might be too much. Sorry, I have a headband in. I just try to keep my hair out of my eyes. It is itching my head like crazy. Alright, so how do I want to fill this in even? No, it's going to be bigger than that. Maybe we just make a huge fluff ball. And then just hope for the best. Like, that might be way too much, but I guess we'll see. Like, if I can at least get the edges worked out here. Then that wouldn't be so bad. And then we can just kind of work out the middle here as we work our way around. I need to be able to see here. Seeing is important. We will work that into here. All right. I don't know, like, I know that looks like bright white there. Just not sure if that's gonna work out. This. Probably gonna need to add some more white here. If nothing else, just to kind of fill in the gaps here that I am sure are gonna form in the center. Okay. So it just takes some time to get all of that worked in here and attached down. Like if I leave it now, it's very loose in the middle. I'm gonna be kind of all over the place. I am gonna pop up though, because we haven't popped up in a minute. Gently, gently, gently. All right. And then we'll hop them back into here. Oh, did you let my mom know you're not going today?
Yeah.
So this worked into here. So I might need more floss cards because I forgot about the extra, the extra stuff in the bag that I still had to card too. But I figured since I had the room in the boxes, I would add those as well. So I might need a couple more packs of floss cards. if Walmart ever gets them back in stock. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Like the thicker and more plentiful the fluff in a spot, it's gonna take a little bit longer. At least using this small needle to get it attached to my liking. At the very least. Arm was getting tired. Arm needed a break there for a second. I'm hoping that this weekend I will be able and be up to. Well, I say that. Like, I'd like to get some painting done, but we're supposed to have spicy weekend sky, so I don't know how that's gonna work. With the angry doggo, it probably won't work very well. There, I'm gonna pop that back up again. Alright, we're almost there. I've just got a little bit more in the center here. It still needs a little bit of attaching. It does seem just a touch thin right there, doesn't it? Drop of water. Again, this doesn't really need to be super crazy here. I just need enough to just kind of fill in that spot. And then we'll kind of reevaluate here how we are looking. I think we're looking okay. But we'll see. Just heard Bean go thundering through the dining room. Did your mom leave yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. That looks fairly good. It's a little wobbly on the edges, but not too bad. Okay. So now, go. Get back in there. Now, we'll go back to our pink here. So it's the same pink that we used down here. I'm just gonna get a drop of water. Where are we here? I guess it doesn't have to be right on the edge of the pad, but might be easier for me. Okay. Just want to be hanging over just a little bit. Just to make sure I'm as kind of covered as I can be. Just to make sure that the frame that we are going to be building can cover any little oddities here. Alright, so I'm just kind of scraping this bottom edge here. It's a little bit broken up. And isn't as tightly fluff snaked together there, so we can get some of this like peach color. Visible in a few spots underneath. To try to give this more of a cloud cover feeling. Of it sitting on top of it. I might need to add a little bit more in that spot because it doesn't quite feel like it's covered enough for me. This feels like it needs to be a little bit more filled in right on the edge there. And then we're going to have our other purple that we need to bring back on in here. That was a very strange sound. Last night he hopped on the stove and walked across the counter. But by the time I got out there, he was already on the other side of the counter. Bean does not respect that the stove is a hot thing and should not be jumped on. But then again, neither does Cow. Bean also doesn't respect the fact that that is my plate of food when I'm out there making food, and not his. Oh, did you put that stuff in the freezer yet?
I have not yet.
That's gonna need to happen today. So then this purple is gonna come like up into here, and then I'm gonna grab a purple that we haven't used yet for this top section, because I want that to be, it's a different shade of purple in the photo for sure. It's like a more, I don't know, it's just a brighter purple. It has a little bit more teeth to it. But I will be right back. I need to check on what that noise was. Alright, sorry about that. Well, whatever had created the noise is not there now, so I was more worried about Bean hanging out on the stove. To make sure he wasn't doing anything there, and I don't see him, so he's either in my mom's room chasing the guinea pigs through the cage, or trying to poke a pig through the top of it. There's one section that on the very edges that doesn't have chicken wire on it. Because yes, we had to put chicken wire over our guinea pig cage to keep the cats from tapping the pigs. Because it's like those storage cubes that had like the 1-inch square grids on them, and they could totally get their feet in there. But there's a couple of spots where the chicken wire doesn't cover, that we tried to put like a towel or a blanket over. It's not stopping Mr. Bean. Because Mr. Bean is a chaos goblin. Excuse me. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't go too far past that one line, although I guess it doesn't really matter. So we're just gonna have that other color come in anyway and sit on top of it. It doesn't have to be like painfully right up to the edge there, as long as we are filled in fairly solidly. Though I can see some spots in here that I already need to add some more color back onto. Like right in here, probably can't see it very well. Like right here needs a touch more fluff. And I could trim it off of this piece to shove in there, but at the same time, I could just grab a new piece when I'm done attaching this. Right, because this section needs to be filled in too regardless, so. Oh, I should show you. So, this is how far I've got in recolor coding everything. So I've got my blacks here, separated by brand. So like this is my big twist black in here. And possibly in here as well. And then I've got some of the Coates and Clark black still. And then I've got the blacks from the DMC color cube. And then I've got my grays, and then that's like a brown black. And then I've got like all of my different shades of brown into cream. And then when I was going through and I was trying to pull out the oranges, I found some more colors that I wasn't sure if they were really considered yellow or not. And then looking up the color names, I was like, oh, They're technically kind of browns, so now I need to add those back into the brown section. And there's a chance you might hear Zuzu's screechy bark because it sounds like the mother-in-law's getting him worked up about something. Alright. So we've got that. Is your mom having dinner with us, or is she having the last of her
I have no idea.
leftovers? Alright. Let's get this. Hold on, you guys. Okay. Zuzu. Zuzu, it is not time yet. It is nowhere near time yet. And I don't know that we're going today. Alright, so I'm gonna fill in this section after we pet the dog for a second. Alright, go lay down. Go lay down. It's not time yet. Patience, my guy. Patience. You have to wait a little bit longer. It's not time to go yet. Even if we do go this afternoon, it's nowhere near time yet. You are at best an hour early. Alright, so we're gonna fill in this section with the pink because that was a little bit thin there. Alright, so that should be filled in enough right there, I think. Oh my goodness, he's now sitting next to me pouting. Alright, so we are going to stretch this next piece out a little bit, get another little fluffy snake going here. Okay, so we are gonna twist this guy and get this worked into here. Gonna overlap that a little bit where I can. And we'll get this guy kind of lined up on that line there. And I'm gonna try to scrape out the bottom edge here. As much as I can. Don't know that I need to quite cut over the top of that, but maybe it won't be so bad. Just a minute. Okay. Let us work in this section here. Still looked a little fuzzy right in there, so like loose fuzzy. Okay. Put these into here. flip this guy around and we're going to start to work on this side. Okay. So make another little fluffy guy here. Alright, so I'm going to overlap that just a little bit. There was a little fuzzball in there. I'm not sure where it came from. Just trying to grab it out. And I think I dropped it because I don't see it. I don't feel it under my fingernails, so not entirely certain where that vanished to. Like I said, it doesn't have to be on that line there, but trying to get it somewhat close to it. Okay. So it's slowly coming together. Starting to take on some life here. As best as we can. We're going to need a little bit more pink here. Just to kind of carry us down to the end. Oh, pretty. Carefully pop that up. Alright. So, I mean, it's starting to do some things here. Okay. So that's definitely not enough pink there at all. What's up?
I'm just gonna step outside and try to do some gluing.
Okay, be careful. Alright, so we're gonna lay this guy about, I don't know, maybe there-ish. I know I'm overlapping the pink, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's perfectly fine. It's not hurting nothing. It's all good. It's the same shade. It's not going to be a big deal. Far from it. Okay. So we will get this spot worked into here. Yeah, we're going to need to pull out just a little bit more pink from the fluff container. Our handy dandy fluff container. Okay. This guy all settled in here. At least I'm trying to. He's being a little stubborn. Not too much, but a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so we need to pull out a bit more pink here. Okay, so now we need to do this. All right, I still might need to add a little bit more. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to, but I might need to do just a little bit. Okay. We'll work on getting this bit popped into here. Figure out how thick I want that to be. Do we want it terribly thick, or do we just want it a little bit stringy? We have come down quite a fair bit. Into the peachy color there a bit on this side. Just sort of by happenstance. Alright, so we will get this worked in here. Zuzu, it is not time yet, buddy. You need to go lay down. We are not going yet. If we go at all today, I don't know if we are. Mr. Man doesn't feel that great today. No, go lay down. Go lay down, guy. Sitting there is not going to get you what you want. It is not time yet. No, your clock is wrong, buddy. I promise you, it's not time. No, I'm not shitting you. It's not time. It's nowhere near time. You can sit there and pout all you want. It's not going to make it happen any faster. Not today. It's not time yet. No, it is much too early. We are not going this early. No. No. Mr. Man's outside. He'll be inside shortly. Oy vey. I don't know. Maybe we don't need some more. Maybe we don't need more of that. Yeah, you know what? We do need just the slightest bit more, like right in here. Not much, not much. This might even be too much. Feels like too much still. Alright. So let's mark this one in. Right in there. Alright. Get this guy anchored in. And then I'll grab that lilac color. Okay. So I'm going to stuff that pink back into its holding container. Alright, so this was, I think it was Dusty Lilac. Okay, so it's not like a whole lot of Dusty Lilac that we need, but we do need a little bit. This is that other shade of purple that I think is a fairly good match. Ugh, let go. Calm down there, Fluff. Alright. So I'm gonna get this all sorted out here. Yeah, that's the same color that we used before. And now the phone's gonna ring. Just a second. Okay. Our phone has a verbal caller ID. So I just wanted to mute while it said who was calling. Oh my god, Zuzu. I love you to bits, buddy. I really do. But between you and other Grammy, I am being driven absolutely insane. We're not going yet, guy. It's not time yet. It's not. It is nowhere near time in any realm of existence. It's not happening. He wants to go to the Borking place. Is what I'm thinking the problem is. Because he didn't want breakfast this morning. He just cared about seeing other Grammy. Although, when we go to switch the stream schedule to our evening time for the summer, our warmer months streaming time, he is probably going to be the #1 interruption because he gets mad sometimes if I'm not in bed by a certain time, or if he wants something and I can't figure out what in the heck it is. A lot of times when he does this, he's hungry, but he does have a bowl of crunchies down that he has access to. he wasn't all that interested in breakfast when we tried to give it to him, after we thought that's what he was being fussy over. And I think it's because he wants to GO to the Borking place. And we're not going yet. We go after I'm done streaming. Sometimes around 1:30, which is 45 minutes from now. It's usually closer to 2 in the afternoon when we go, because we try to go before school gets out for the afternoon, because then traffic is a nightmare trying to get in and out of our driveway. Because we live right near one of the roads that all of the parents take to come and go to the school. So in order to try to avoid a bunch of that mess, we usually go around 2 in the afternoon. And he started at 12:30 being mad about it. We were going twice a day for a while, but we haven't been getting up early enough to do that lately. And he hasn't seemed to care so much about twice a day lately. For the most part. So I'm not entirely sure why he's being extra ridiculous right now. I do not know. I may never know. Maybe the mother-in-law finally left to go do errands with her sister like she was supposed to do yesterday, and then they didn't end up going. I don't know. Or maybe she's getting ready to leave and that's why he's mad because he's not in her room right now. I don't know. It could literally be any number of things that he's mad about. We are just gonna keep trying to stab our fluff. And hopefully everything will be okay. I'm trying to look at the weather, right? It's hard to nail down a day for when we're going to go to the zoo right now, because apparently we're entering an active weather pattern. It might end up being on a Tuesday, so I might have to cancel a Tuesday stream. It won't be next Tuesday. Next Tuesday it's supposed to be crappy weather in Tulsa. Because I have to check the weather here and the weather there. I have to keep reminding myself of that. But checking the weather here for there doesn't do me much good. Like, I'll have a small, very small idea of what the weather might be doing there, checking it here, but sometimes it's vastly different. Vastly. Alright, let's see. I I'm not sure. I feel like I need a little bit more. Like right in here, because it just doesn't feel quite thick enough. Like I can overlap that other purple on top of this, and I gotta keep reminding myself of that. Like, that's fine. This can drift upwards a bit to make sure I've got enough room to overlap that other purple on top of this. But yeah, it's supposed to be spicy skies in Oklahoma next Tuesday. Tomorrow's not looking bad. But the reason the mother-in-law had walked out here while she was on speakerphone, loudly talking to her sister to stand outside of our doorway, which is why I had to mute a few minutes ago. She had to tell the husband that she has an appointment to get her car maintenance tomorrow at 11. Like, she needs to stop making appointments for shit if she doesn't know if she's being called for jury duty yet. Like, they call you the night before. But I don't know. Like, so I guess tomorrow's not possible. And we're worried about, like, Thursdays being super, super busy too, because it's like getting towards the end of the week and school field trips and stuff. Because we accidentally did that the one time. I think we might have gone in May and didn't realize that it was close to the end of the school year, and there had to be like 10 different school buses there. And the one place we were sitting to eat lunch, every single group of kids that came by, we were sitting right next to the injured eagle habitat or whatever, had to scream eagles at the top of their lungs.
Eagles!
Yeah, for like the hour that we were sitting there eating. Maybe half an hour. I was just like, oh my god. I understand the kids and they're excited, but every single group of kids, it wasn't the same kid doing it. It's like, wow, these kids are excited about eagles. Like, every single one of them. I want to put my yard flamingos back outside, but we're in the middle of spicy weather season. So that makes things a bit more challenging. So I also don't want to be pulling them in every other day because of a severe weather potential. Because that's just infuriating. We also need to check the sticker on the mother-in-law's car and see when her registration is up. Like, ours is November. I thought hers was April, but it might be May. But I don't know if we have to get online and do that, or if we have to wait until the paperwork shows up. And the paperwork hasn't shown up yet, so then there's always that thought in the back of your brain, well, is it late? And normally I'd be like, well, this is her fucking problem, but the car's in the husband's name. He co-signed on the cars for her. And so his name is on the title for some reason. So all of the paperwork that comes about the cars is his name only, as far as I've been able to see. I'm like, when your mom moves out of the state, you need to get that car out of your name before she leaves. this car has been like everywhere. There's been months where we haven't even seen it, where it's been sitting at a different family member's location. I'm like, I don't like the fact that this car is in your name and it's not here. I don't like it. And it's not in her possession either. Like a different family member was using her car. I'm like, I don't like this. I really want this car out of your name. It should have never been in his name. Oh, okay, let's go that direction. Okay. We need a little bit more of this color to come in here. So I don't know why at that very moment while she was on speakerphone with her sister, she had to stand outside of our door and get the husband's attention to tell him about it. She could have waited till later to tell him. But apparently he has to pick her up after she drops the car off. She's probably going to be knocking and interrupting us again in a minute, looking for the husband. Alright, so we are going to work this into here. I can get that to settle in. All into there. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't give us too much trouble releasing, so it is a longer bit of fluff here. And at least OBS seems to be behaving itself today, so that's good. So yeah, so my plans this weekend are to maybe squeeze in some painting if I can. I would like to get some work done on a Bob Ross embroidery pattern that I kind of whipped together. Bob Ross inspired. We'll see how that goes. Excuse me. I just kind of took like the end piece and tried to come up with something. I made it a little too big for the hoop I had though, unfortunately. So I've got it in like the next size up hoop. And I'm gonna have to pick up a hoop that's that size. I'm not even sure what size hoop it is. I don't know if it's a 5-inch or a 6-inch. I am going to have to measure that. Or look up what came in this embroidery hoop stand that I picked up. Because it came with some sized hoops with it to put your project in to work from. So I mean, it's fine, it'll do for now. But, Zuzu, we're not going outside right now. I know you hear other Grammy outside, or you hear Daddy talking outside. We're not going outside right now. No, it's not time yet. You're just being nosy. You're not. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. No. She's going somewhere, buddy. She has to go run some errands. You're not going with her. Absolutely not. You don't like being in the car for that long anyhow. You get upset. You want to go to the working place and come home. One time we took you to Walmart with us, I stayed in the car with them while the husband ran in to grab something real quick that we needed to get for dinner. You were very upset that we made a stop that you had not approved and didn't understand that we were making. He is not a car ride loving dog. He's more of a tell me when we get there kind of dog. And she wanted to take him up to her other sister's house that lives in Missouri for like a 45-minute hour car ride one way. And we're like, no. She's like, why not? Like, he doesn't like the car. He's never been a big fan of the car. You're not taking him that long and then to be dicking around up there for who knows how long. No. He's an old guy. He doesn't like those kinds of adventures anymore. He didn't like them when he was younger, when we took him on a road trip. Like, absolutely not. I think we know our dog a little bit better and what his tendencies are. There are times where it deeply concerns me that her and her sister are out doing things and his mom has no concept of holding on to money in her bank account for later in the month. As soon as she gets money, she is blowing it as fast as she can. And then she's like, oh, do you need anything? I'll get it for you. But she'll be at like a negative balance in her bank account and then overdraft the hell out of her bank account. And then she'll be yelling at us that we have to take more of the house bills because she doesn't have any money. I'm like, this isn't our fault. You spent that money on stupid shit. Like games on your phone. Or buying crap for other people that you didn't have the money to buy. And then she's mad that she doesn't have money to do everything under the sun with. And I'm like, yeah, that's called adulting. Budget. We've tried to put her on a budget multiple times. The husband has sat down and made a budget for her. Refuses to follow it so that she has money left over to do fun things with. But she has to pick and choose her fun things. She can't just do all of the fun things ever like a spoiled child and not have any consequences for them. And we've taken on all kinds of stuff. I think we're even paying for one or two of her streaming services that we don't even use. which I'm not happy about, but I'm like, don't, no, I don't want to hear it. But her bank account's changing soon. They're going to be charging her a $10 monthly fee instead of $6. And she's like, oh, I'm not paying that. And I'm like, well, then you need to change your account to a normal one. And I don't know if she'll still have the overdraft protection on a normal one. That will be interesting to see. What was all the banging?
No, that was me.
What were you doing?
Trying to get the end off of the stick without resorting to the saw. Didn't work.
Okay. He's making his mom a walking stick out of a branch that he found, except she doesn't do any walking. And when she rejoins her sister, it'll probably just get tossed in their RV and never used. Or the Doberman will probably chew it to shreds. Cause stick. Because she's probably not going to put it up and take care of it. This woman flipped a tricycle. An electric tricycle. Twice. Had to get stitches. And I think she was under a concussion evaluation at one point. And we keep telling her to stop buying stuff off of Facebook because it's a scam 95% of the time. And she won't listen to us. She sent Russell this ad that looked like it was something for sale on Amazon. And she's like, well, I put it in my shopping cart. And he's like, huh? She's like, can you look at it? You know, is this actually a good deal? And he's like, there's nothing in your shopping cart because he logged into Amazon. And she's like, I just put it there. And he's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, I did. And then, like, she wasn't even here. She was traveling and she had called him. And he's like, no. And then he went to the link and it was a fake Amazon page that didn't actually exist. It was like a scam page. He's like, no, stop this. He's like, this is not real. This is fake. If it looks like a really good deal, then it's not real. Most of the time. If you did not see it directly on Amazon, if you saw it on a Facebook ad, stop it. Because she can't tell the difference. He's like, stay the F off of Facebook and stop trying to buy stuff off of there. She bought a purse off of there. I thought it was going to be bigger. It was like this big. He's like, see, we've learned that lesson. We tried to order one thing off of a Facebook ad that looked legit one time, years ago. Never got the product. They charged us. I think we had to file a dispute with the bank. Never got the money back. Never got the thing. Fortunately, it wasn't terribly expensive, and we're like, it's a scam. We know it's a scam. We weren't 100% sure it was legit, so that's... We hoped, but we were like, yeah, it's probably not. We keep trying to get this into her head. We know. We've been burned by this before. And she'll just be handing her bank account information over to anybody. She doesn't stop and think. Supposedly, she's going to be signing over her portion of the house to the husband if she ends up moving in to an apartment her sister's son is going to be building on his property. Or when they're not traveling around in the RV. And stationary up there. So they can be up there in the winter, I guess. But we're also supposed to be getting all of the house bills at that point. I think there was 2 things that she said she was going to keep paying for, but we'll see if that actually happens. And I'm like, we're afraid to sell this place or try to sell this place before that happens. Because even though she already verbally told him that we can have the money from the sale of this place to buy a different place, because this is too much house for us. We wanted something a little bit smaller and not in this area. That we could take that, all of it, and put it towards the purchase of a different house. But we're nervous that she's going to change her mind in the 11th hour, like she always does, and then suddenly demand money from the sale. Because she's like that. Absolutely see a world in which that would happen. And husband can see a world in which that would happen too. So he's either going to get it in writing from her and make her sign it, or going to wait until she doesn't have any stake on the property whatsoever. But when that happens, the stream schedule will probably change even more drastically. Because of schedules and whatnot. But we'll see. Actually, we can keep going on this side. Forgot, I'm filling all the way up. Alright. For some reason I was like all in the groove of just, you know, striping in there. Forgot I'm filling this whole section. Because when the husband got his disability back pay, he paid off all of her debt as a thank you for helping us while he was trying to get his disability approved. And immediately turned around and ran it all right back up. So it was for nothing. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. It's a lot of money. And we can't just tell her to Like, there's certain things we can't tell her no about. Because she's threatened to do some things if we don't let her have her way about other things. Like, stop paying for a whole bunch of stuff that she's been paying just out of the blue. Just, no, I'm not gonna do anymore. With no warning. When she's in a mood. So I'm like, really? After all your son has done for you, you're gonna pull a temper tantrum. She's terribly toxic and bad with money. She's always pissing off her sisters. We're not entirely sure why she didn't go with her other sister to a different sister's for Easter. We're thinking that the last time they were in each other's presence, she said something and pissed her off. That's usually what happens. Where suddenly the one sister that she's traveling with is going to do something and she's not going, and it seems odd because they always go to the same places together. She said something really hurtful and insulting one Christmas to the one sister whose daughter had just lost her husband very suddenly right before Christmas, and the sisters whose house it is asked her to do something, and she got pissy about being asked to do something, to help with something, and stuck her foot in her mouth and said something she shouldn't have. So that sister's like, you have to leave. That was inappropriate. You're leaving now because I'm not going to have you upsetting my daughter by saying something stupid. So, she has a history of stepping in it quite a bit. Okay. So, bit more of this purple. So, I mean, it's not so bad, this purple. In-laws. I'm hoping we won't have as many interruptions involving the mother-in-law when we switch to the later stream schedule. Because hopefully she will be in bed and settled for the night. Now, if I do suddenly start having a multitude of interruptions at that time of the day, I will for sure know that it's her being a nuisance on purpose. Right now I can't prove it. But if I'm doing it when she should be asleep and she's purposely needing something every 10-15 minutes, then we will for sure know. We will see what happens with that. Like, I kind of want to paint this room, but at the same time, I'm hoping we can move in a couple of years. In which case, I don't really want to go through the hassle of moving everything out of the way and painting the walls in here if we're just gonna leave, you know? The ceiling in this room is very high. Not what I'd really call a vaulted ceiling. It's just a very awkward height. Her sister actually ended up back down here sooner than the sister planned on being back down here with the RV, because one of the neighbors at her other sister's house got upset over her traveling partner sister, the RV owner, over her dog. Because she has this stupid collar on the dog that like vibrates and beeps to get her to listen. And then if she's really not listening, they have a shock collar option, which I don't believe in. Russell doesn't believe in it. Believe that you should train your fucking dog. But she'll use that instead of putting the dog on a leash. After it's been demonstrated, if this dog sees something that they are way more interested in than her owner, she will run after it and she will chase it. And she won't listen to this beeping noise or the collar vibrating. She ignores it straight up. And then if it's out of range of the remote for this collar, well then, you know, fat lot of good that's gonna do. She refuses to put this dog on a lead half the time. She refuses to put this dog on a leash half the time. She's like, oh, she listens to me. And 5 seconds later, bolted up our driveway and out into traffic after chasing something. And we're like, you were saying? She usually listens to me. Yeah, okay. Put the dog on the lead. We have a lead in the backyard. Just put the dog on the lead. There's stray cats that wander through this yard that she wants to eat, that we feed. We've asked you multiple times to put this dog on the lead. Apparently the dog ran up on the neighbor's son up at her other sister's house in Missouri. The story that we got, while the neighbor's son was walking their dog. And I guess the kid's dad was out there with them, or the dad came out to rescue them. I don't know. Maybe dad was a few steps behind him. This is like a third-hand story, so the neighbor put up such a fuss that she had to leave that day. But she's been using the mother-in-law's car up there, and I'm like, your potential jury duty starts April 1st. You need your car. And she just looked at me like I was dumb. I'm like, you need to get your car back from your sister. It's your car. Well, she's not done using it yet. That's nice. You might be called for jury duty. Punishable with bench warrants and shit if you don't show up when they tell you to. You need your car, because you're not taking our car and having it sit in the city for hours on end if they call you in when we need our car to go do stuff and run errands and deal with doggos and whatnot, and my mom needing stuff. No, you have a car. Get it back from your sister. Your sister doesn't need to have your car. She could borrow your other sister's car if she needs to go somewhere. Like, no. This is stupid. And I had to talk to the husband. He goes, yeah, she knows. I don't know why she just looked at you like that. He's like, she doesn't use her brain half the time. This is him saying that. Like, well, she looked at me like I was the stupid one with like the blankest expression on her face for even reminding her about it. This woman's main goal in life is to stress me out on purpose. Alright, so I'm trying to get up against this tape line here. This is my upper edge. That's the only reason why I've got that line there. So I don't lose track of where it is, and so it's somewhat straight. Because we've got our piece of wood that this is going to get mounted to once we're all said and done. And then like the little tiny magnets we were doing, we're going to build a frame. I've not tried to build a frame out of this material yet, so it should be interesting, to say the least. It's okay if you hit the tape with the needle. Just try not to felt or stab the fluff through the tape. That's going to make things a little more complicated when it comes time to remove it, because the tape's not staying. Though if you stab the fluff through the tape enough times, it might end up staying to your project no matter what you do. So just be careful. Alright. So what were you doing? What were you doing?
When?
With all... What did you need the saw for?
I need to cut the ends off the thing.
Did you water your flowers today?
Not yet. I need to walk down to Ace Hardware.
For what?
I need to see if I can get a tip for the thing. They sell those little cane tip things. Might have a size that works.
Oh. Walmart doesn't have it?
I don't know, but Ace is right here.
Okay. Suzu.
Relax, buddy.
It's not time yet. No, it's not time yet.
No tune, buddy.
It is not time yet, guy. The mother-in-law had stepped outside for like 15 minutes. I guess she had to take her sister's dog out to potty. And Suzu was sitting in my mom's room at the door that the mother-in-law went outside through, howling because she had the audacity to go outside without him earlier. So he's just been all sorts of sassy today. so much sass from something so small. He's
Tiny
all
sass.
he's all of 20 pounds, you guys.
If that.
Do you have your wallet? Hope he grabbed his wallet. I hope he remembered to put on the apron that he got for that, because he has these like fleece vests that he wears. And when he's whittling outside, the little wood shavings get all in it. So we got an apron for him to wear when he's doing that to try to keep the little wood shavings from sticking to it. So I'm not sitting there picking them off with tweezers before they go into the wash. So they don't become embedded in a different piece of clothing. Don't know if he remembered to put that on. Went through all the trouble of embroidering it for him. Alright, so it's going to take us a minute to get this purple worked into here. That's just how it's going to be. Oh, that's very stuck in there. I have to approach this from a different angle. There we go. Sometimes a different angle to peel off the mat is all you need. Alright, so I feel like I've got a slight thin bit here. It looks like I'm seeing some of the gray from the base felt. So, oh, careful, careful. No snapping the needle, please. That's not going to do anybody any good. No good at all. Okay. We're just gonna work our way through this blob. It's gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna take us a little bit of time to get all the way across to the other side. But that's just kind of how it goes when you are working in a larger section of solid color. So this color is, what is this color? Pansy purple. And this is an acrylic yarn shade from Paint Box's Simply Chunky line. Not sponsored whatsoever. And I picked that up on Lovecraft's website Again, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Just letting you know where I got it, what it is, and what the color is. Right now I've got a mix of 2 different brands of yarn that I am using for this. And that was Big Twist Value Line. Again, not sponsored. It was originally from Joann's, but Michael's has since picked that up. So yeah, that's starting to come together a bit there. Alright, sorry. I needed a drink. Here to let you all see that in the right direction while I was doing so. Alright, so again, you can use roving if you want. That's like traditionally what's used, right? So if you'd rather go the roving route, that's fine. I'm just using a little dab of water on my palm just to kind of pull the fibers together so it's not quite so airy in between the fibers to get a more solid dabbing in here. You don't have to do the snake fluff roll thing if you don't want to. That's just a me preference more than anything. I just like working in the bits of fluff that I can get out of it. Alright, so I'm going to overlap a little just to keep any weird like addition seams from happening. Sometimes it works better than others. And I want to be careful to not stab through the tape or stab the fluff through the tape. I don't really want the tape to become part of the project. It's just kind of there as a guardrail of, hey, don't go past this point. So I've done it without the tape and like lost where my edge line was supposed to be before, and then it kind of got like distorted and askew, if you will, as my pen line kind of got pulled in a different direction from me pulling up off the mat repeatedly and releasing it. So it's just there for me to say, hey, this is your stop point. Don't go any further in this direction. I mean, it's not the greatest tape on here. It bubbles and buckles and stuff. It's just visually there as a reminder of this is where this line was. That's all I've got it there for. And it's completely optional. You don't have to put it on there. 100% a me thing. It doesn't really do anything to keep it from getting slightly pulled out and like slightly askew from pulling it off in one direction more than another. If you're worrying about it distorting when you're constantly having to pry it up off of the mat, keep trying to pull up in different directions. Or this is like the really thin craft felt. There's also a version, or at least there was the last time I bought felt, of a much thicker version that I think might be twice the price. That didn't seem to warp or distort from being pulled up off of the felt mat. So that was a treat to work with, but when I'm doing the stuff that I'm mounting and then making a frame over, I have to be mindful of how thick it's going to be to make sure I've got the depth to put the frame on it. Because all of the 3x3 magnets that we felted, so those were tiny guys, we made those frames that surrounded them. And we're going to make the frame that's going to surround this. Hopefully it doesn't give me too much trouble. Okay, I'm going to rotate my mat. It's been a little bit since I've last done so. Actually, really can't wait to start on my Bob Ross embroidery attempt. Excited for that. I might try to start recording that this weekend. And I want to record some paintings for the channel. I've got some little known galaxy I need to edit. I was really hoping to have more done to edit, but life kept lifing at me. I mean, I've got a few. Probably have maybe a month of it there to edit. Okay. So get this one stabbed into here. Okay. So, like, hopefully if we have anything that's on the very edge that's not looking real great, the edge of the frame will cover that. We're about, not quite halfway across. We're almost halfway across with this color. But then after we get this color in, we still need to add our plants in. So while we are making progress, and we actually made quite a bit of progress today. We have hit another slowdown, another speed bump. Okay, now to be clear, I'm not doing wet felting. This is dry needle felting. Wet felting is a whole nother animal. And probably more than likely you're going to need to use full roving for that to get it to stick to itself and behave properly. Now, I don't know for sure because I have not looked into wet felting. I didn't want to do wet felting around my PC because we are on PC. We're not on a phone right now. So I did not really want to have a mess of all of that near my PC tower that I'm trying to be very gentle with. Especially after Bean had me thinking I was having a RAM failure. Nope, just Bean launching himself repeatedly on top of my PC tower and unseating my RAM just enough where my RAM was like, you don't have enough of this. There's been a kernel problem. And I'm like, what? This PC is like 3 years old. What are you talking about? What is happening? Too soon for that. Like, seriously. What is happening? Getting this done. Now, after we complete this one, we're going to do a tissue paper art version of it. I think I've got enough of the tissue paper colors prepped for it. Hopefully I do. I wanted to do a tissue paper art here, and we haven't done a tissue paper art on the channel in a little while, so I was like, this might be a good time. Since this is one I kind of want to do. Let's do it. Who cares? I like doing the same piece in different mediums. Just to see how different it may or may not look. Just to see what I can do with it as a personal challenge. I know it might seem silly to some to use the same reference photo in multiple things, but I think there is some value to that. I think it's fun to see what you can make happen with different mediums. And all that. All right. So I think that we are going to pause there for today. Getting close to our wrap-up time. Actually, you know what? That kind of feels a little bit yellowy, even though that's our pure white, because it's like feels like it's drawing from the colors around it. So I guess that kind of works. Might be a little big, but I think once we get our other bits and bobs popped in around it, it should be fine. So we're gonna call it there today, and we'll pick it back up on this one next time. Tomorrow we'll be back, migraine permitting, of course. I don't think weather's gonna be an issue tomorrow. I don't think we're having any spicy skies for the dog to be acting a fool. Let me check. He's got storm anxiety, so All right. So, no, we're good until, at the moment, we're good until next week. Might be a little dicey for streams. Kind of depends on what time they might happen. Sunday, usually just rain he's fine with, but it says rain and thunder. See what time that looks like that might be. Monday it's just straight up thunderstorm chances, and Tuesday it's straight up thunderstorm chances. We'll see what the timing of those look like, but we should be good for tomorrow. Again, migraine permitting. We'll be back in Planet Zoo, working on some of our staff buildings and running the cranes through quarantine to get them brought over and then work on getting them nice and happy, I think is our next step there. So, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below. Those will take you to the Ko-fi, the Blue Sky, and the YouTube channel. There is a link to the eBay store right now, but I don't have anything up at the moment. Apologies, I'm waiting until we go to the farmer's market to do the giveaway and then see what I've got left. And then I might post some stuff up on there, or I might post some of my gouache paintings. We'll see. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Until next time, you guys, have a good one.